Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we will be discussing something about API testing using Postman. So, as I mentioned, this will be specific more onto the Postman tool. We are using Postman on a very heavy level, like every testing, we are referring Postman or SOAP UI in some cases, but we never talked about how to proficiently we can use Postman. So Postman is like one of the very finest API testing tool which I have come across, and there are many capabilities. If we properly use all the functionalities provided by Postman, it will turn into a great asset to us while testing or designing our APIs. It is vital for both developers as well as for QA testing or other testing teams. So without any further ado, I will start with Postman and the APIs which are being offered by Anypoint platform, how we can use them in a very judicious manner, and we can automate many of the things. Okay, so let's open our Postman. So guys, this is uh, the Anypoint platform APIs. This is like one of the collection which I have created. So how to create a collection? Collection is first of all is basically a group of multiple requests. Ideally, those requests, if there are more than one request, then there should be a particular order in which those requests should be created. So you have to just click on this new collection, and you can give a name over here of the collection, and you can give a description about the same. And if there is any authorization, you can pass the authorization. And if there is pre-request scripts like which need to be executed before executing the all the requests which are being created within the collection, we can place it over here and test and simply the other variables. Okay, so whatever variable we are going to create over here, it will reflect for all the applications, all the APIs, the different methods which are being captured under the this particular collection. Okay, so our MuleSoft platform, Anypoint platform provides a lot of APIs. So it will be difficult to cover all, but I will touch base the basic ones without um, giving in-depth or the design or the exchange level APIs. You can explore it once you get the basic idea how to configure it. So this particular video is more onto the functionality of Postman and how we can configure it. So after creating the new collection, something like this will appear, and inside that you can just go for here and create a folder, add folder. So like that I have created three folders like setup, applications, and application. So I will go for the first one, that is a post. So this particular URL is being used to log in to the Anypoint platform. It looks out for password and the username. So you have two options. Either you can give a hard-coded value over here and it will be exposed to everyone, and every time whenever you are creating a second request, you have to manually type the password hard-coded again. Similarly for the username as well. But instead of using it, we can also create a environment and declare the variable over there. So how to do that? You have to simply click on so this is the by default, and this is the platform which I am using. Okay, so just give me a moment. So so if you click on this environment quickly, quick look, you will come to know about some of the values which are being used over here. So like the AnyPoint username, the password, and what are the host and how to create it. It's very simple. Uh, in order to create any values, you need to go over here and just click on over here, like some you can put any name of the variable. So let's say name, and after that you can put the name like your name, and it will come up like this. And use persist all, it will be better to use. It will persist the value, and it gives two different options: initial value and the current value. So initial value is the first time you are setting up, and after that, that is the final value, which is the currently being used. So you have to click on update, and it's done after that. Let me clean it up. There are some elements which are not being used as a part of this demonstration, so let me clean this up. So now we are good. I will click on update, and you can close this window now. So how to put this password? So you have to just simply put two curly braces, and after that you have to remember how you have created those values, like the password which I have set. So it's like that, and you can just click on the drop down, which automatically gets created, and you have to just select the correct one. Okay, so this was about the AnyPoint platform login. In some of the times it gives the error as invalid CRF as well. So in order to avoid that, we can write this particular piece of code. So what it does, it basically clear up the cookies, and it checks whether the body matches the string, like SS token is being created out of it or not. And API auth header is being populated with bearer along with the data SS token which is being generated out of it. So API auth header, that is where is this? Yeah, API auth header. You can see like SS token E1 something is being mapped with bearer along with the SS data SS token. So this is like automatically being captured once the first post request of login is being executed. Okay, so having said that, let's click on send button once again. So now it is showing invalid CSRF. So I will send it once again. And now this is starting with 67. So if I just hover over here, and you can see it is automatically getting updated. So this was about the login part in which the token is being generated. I will go to the get part of it. Now this host, this host value, if you just put your cursor over here, it will show you like the values of it, anypoint.milsoft.com. After that, accounts API slash me. So it will give you the details of the user which is being logged in. Okay, so let me click on the send button, and it will show you my first name, last name, phone number, and all the other things. um, and what is the other things like developer entitlements, how many cores are being assigned. So all those things are being captured over here. What is the organization details and contributors of the, so all these things are being captured over here. Now it looks out for authorization and the accept under the header, like within the authorization, the same API auth header value which is being captured within the previous login API that is being used directly here, and the result set is being created. Now if we go to the third one, which is creating the environment, and we will quickly check for the header. So API auth header is being used, and it is a get operation. Host and org ID. Org ID is again, let me show you. So org ID is this one, 215. Okay, so starting with 215. Okay, So now if you hover over here, you can see the same is is getting reflected. Reason being, again, if you go to the tests, you can see the org ID is getting updated from the value which is coming out as a response. Okay, so I will go to the environments once again and I will click on the send button. So here you can see it is giving me the response, like I am having two different environments of design and sandbox and the different details about it. Now I will go to the second applications folder, and if I click on the send button, it will give me all the details. So in the background there is a change which I have done. It looks out for the Anypoint environment ID along with the org ID which is already populated and the API auth header. Okay, but it also looks out for the um, this environment ID which we have not discussed, but this is being updated as part of within the test in the previous executed request. So it's all being related. That's why I was saying like all these requests are being interrelated, and it makes sense as well. First of all, on the platform, you first log in. So once you log in, your credentials are being checked, and a home page is being opened up for you that shows you like what are the available org ID and all the things are being available for you. After that, environment details are being visible to you, and if you go to the available applications, it will show all the details. Now if you want to check for any specific one, so here the domain, and you can see the value, this value of greetings app. I have hard coded this particular value. So if I show you, so this greetings app, I have done hard coded this particular value, and you can change the current value. If you hover over here, the pencil will come, and you can change it as well. But I will keep it as it is. The value of this domain is being obtained from the previous execution, that is this application detail. Again, you can have this value configured within this test part as well as we have done for the org ID and all the things. But why I have done it like that? Reason being, the lists of application can have more than one application, and I want to pick only a single one. So that's why I have hard coded this particular domain value. So let me hit on this, and you can see all the details about this greetings app is now visible, like domain, full domain properties, and what are the worker status and all the other rest of the things. The next one is to obtain the status of the greetings app. So if I click on the send button, it will show me like it is started, and the same thing can be obtained from the previous status as well. Somewhere here you can see the status has started, right? Status has started, so it means like this application is already running. So this was all about how we can configure this particular set of APIs along with the test set data. But in order to in order to test it automatically, there should be a way, right? So what we will do, we will just click on this arrow mark, and we will see this run button. Okay, it will select all the things, and it will ask for iteration, how many number of times you want to run it, and if you want to keep a difference between the two. But I will go with default, and let's see, run Anypoint platform APIs. So it shows zero field. Okay, so it means all is good and there is no problem in that. I will close this, and you can check. You can also create a monitor for that. Like if you click on monitors, what it will do, it will create a automatic trigger, like at what time you want to trigger this particular set of APIs. And so you can configure it, the week timer, hour timer, and minute timer. So if you just go on creation, it has already created. So it gives the option of web dashboard. You can so you can run it from here, like manual intervention based run, within the here it goes the option of refresh. So you can see all green, so it's all positive, so there is no problem in that. So this particular thing was to demonstrate like how you can judiciously use the different capabilities of Postman. I hope you like this video, and thanks for watching.